most welcome. I'm here for that, but if he's not with me, we'll be sure in the future.
That is Sabri Lamouchi, the Forest head coach, who takes charge of his first game this evening at home to West Brom. Fantastic atmosphere inside the City Ground this evening. A reminder, season, certainly in the National League, they were beaten away from home at Eastleigh by a goal to nil and had 2 players sent off. Mansfield draw at Newport, quite a game. They went 2-0 down in the first half, fall back to 2-2, missed a penalty, had a player sent off, conceded in stoppage time, and then that was ruled out. It finished at 2-2. We'll bring a reaction from John Dempster at half-time in the game here at the City Ground. And in the Ashes, at 94 for 3, so they lead England by 4 runs with 7 second innings wickets in hand. Steve Smith unbeaten on 30. Travis Head has 8 to his name. It is time for Nottingham Forest against West Bromwich Albion. It is the first match of the Championship season in 2019-2020. And to talk you through it, Steve Hard.
It's absolutely crackling around here. It's a baking hot August day for the start of the season. It's a baking hot August evening now, as we tick around towards 5:30 and the long-awaited start to the new campaign. The big crowd is arriving at the City Ground, and they are in, as always for opening day, expectant mood. They are in active mood, they're in optimistic mood, and they're in noisy mood as well. There is a cracking atmosphere going around the stands. Away to our right, the lower tier of the Bridgeford end, is a mass of red and white flags in the Forest half of that end of the ground anyway. All of them being waved in bright sunshine away to the right-hand side. It's a really good sight. The West Brom section is about full as well. Plenty of yellow and green away shirts that they'll be wearing today in that section too, but predominantly around the ground it's red and white, and it's noisy, and it's getting ready for the arrival for the first time this season onto the emerald green City Ground playing surface of Nottingham Forest. West Bromwich Albion the opponents, just as they were for the first home game of last season, which ended 1-1, but as we say, much has changed 1 year on since the sides met here at the City Ground. Both have new managers. Slaven Bilic installed during the summer as West Bromwich Albion's new manager, and of course the new head coach at the City Ground here, Sabri Lamouchi, will make his way along from the tunnel very soon indeed into what is now the home dugout, which always has been the away dugout, but Sabri Lamouchi preferring to have, as you look at it from behind, from the Peter Taylor stand, the right-hand dugout. So the dugout in the Bridgeford end of the ground will now be the home dugout, and there are so many staff on the books now at Forest with Sabri Lamouchi that that dugout's had to be extended as well, so they've added a little bit on the end of it too. And there are plenty of long lenses, photographers' lenses, pointed towards the tunnel and those dugouts at the moment as they wait for the managers to emerge, but they will be preceded by the players. Loads of debutants as well for both sides. For Forest there are 4 in the starting lineup, and there are 5 on the bench who have not played for Forest before, including 2 youngsters, Brennan Johnson and Jaden Richardson, both 18 years of age, and given their opportunity at least to be in the match day 18 for the first time by the new head coach, Sabri Lamouchi. Oliver Burke, the former Forest player, just wanders down from the tunnel towards the away dugout. He is on the bench today for West Bromwich Albion. The other West Brom subs are making their way out too. So the atmosphere continues to build, and we get ready for the emergence for the first time this season of Forest onto the City Ground. You can hear the crowd in such good voice. Always something special about opening day, always an extra special kind of fizz to the atmosphere because of that optimism that most sides begin the new season with. And Forest have a decent record on opening day as well. 4 seasons ago they lost to Brighton away from home. That was their 1 defeat in the last 8 opening day matches. They have a pretty good record, certainly a very good record here. The only 2 of the last 16 that they've lost have come away from home at Burnley and, as I say, at Brighton. So Forest will be looking for that trend to continue today, and if it can, then it'll be a pretty good scalp if they can win today against West Bromwich Albion, with Leeds away to come next Saturday lunchtime as well. So on the one hand, a tough looking start, a couple of tough games to get out of the way early. On the other hand, what a start to the season it would be if they could get a couple of positive results from those two matches. Here they come for the first time this season. Forest in their red shirts, white shorts and red socks, led out by the captain, Michael Dawson. Good to see him fit again. And just behind him, all in light blue, is the 6'6" figure of Aro Muric, the Kosovo international, signed on loan from Manchester City. Behind him, Joe Worrell, back at the club after a season last year at Rangers, and plenty of other new faces making their way out towards the halfway line for the respect handshakes. Let's bring in a familiar face. Steve Hodge is here with us again this season on BBC Radio Nottingham's Match Day. Steve, there is a sense of anticipation, a sense of expectation. There always is on opening day. It's special, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've all got bored over the summer months. Well, some of them, and some people like the cricket and that, like I do, and really enjoyed it. But yeah, we do miss the week to week of the competition of it all, and you want to see your team do well and challenge for the big honours. And last year was quite close. This year, complete change around. But as always, City Ground packed out today. Far corners, we'll see some yellow and green shirts in the corner, probably 2,000 or 3,000 from West London, I imagine, but everywhere else, complete Red Sea. And they all got the same hope and belief that it could be a good start to the season and crack on from there. You mentioned about Leeds, a minute ago away. Yes, on paper difficult, tough place to go, but I think at the moment you wouldn't mind going to Leeds really. But don't forget in between, by the way, Fleetwood. Is that right? Fleetwood in?
Next week.
This weekend, sorry. Fleetwood are a good team at the moment. They're playing very well, but that's 10 days down the line. But in general, yeah, I am hopeful this year. It's a very, very big squad. Obviously, they can't all play. They've got to ship them out at some point, and where they go, I don't know. Probably to Olympiacos at some point. But apart from that, very, very hopeful. We look at a big team. The lineup there from last season, I could probably see there's 4 or 5, 6'2" lads. So that always gives me hope that we can cope with most things wherever we might go this year and deal with things.
The Forest side then is Aro Muric in goal. The back four with no Tendai Derek, put out through injury, of course. Injured his knee badly in training in midweek. So that was a blow for Forest. Matty Cash will fill in at right back. Joe Worrell, Michael Dawson, the centre halves, with Jack Robinson at left back. Ben Watson and Alpha Semedo will be the holding midfielders. Samba Sao is not yet ready to play. Albert Adoma, Thiago Silva and Joe Lolly in the line of three behind Lewis Grabban. No João Carvalho, of course, still recovering from that injury he picked up in the first pre-season friendly of the summer. It is hoped that he can be back in training this week. The bench: Yuri Ribeiro, Tobias Figueiredo, Rafa Mir, Sammy Amiobi, youngsters Brennan Johnson and Jaden Richardson, and Jordan Smith. Let's have a listen in to the City Ground crowd on opening day. The atmosphere was good. West Brom are going to kick us off for the 2019-20 season here on Match Day from BBC Radio Nottingham. Forest red shirts, white shorts and red socks, kicking from left to right in the first half towards the Bridgeford end, and it is West Bromwich Albion who get us underway in their change strip of yellow and green striped shirts with yellow shorts and yellow and green striped socks. A back pass that might potentially be a little bit short here. Grabban chasing down. It is sent back eventually to Sam Johnston, the goalkeeper, who manages to get his lines clear for West Brom. Sent forward again in the air by Robinson. Adoma battles for it just inside the West Brom half, and it's hoisted long downfield, and Dawson is there to head it back to Aro Muric. The West Brom side, Johnston in goal, Nathan Ferguson, a young fullback, making his debut today. Kyle Bartley, Semi Ajay, signing from Rotherham in the summer, and Kieran Gibbs across their back four. Jake Livermore is the captain, and he's alongside Romain Sawyers, another new signing in the holding roles in midfield. Then Matt Phillips, Filip Krovinovic and Kyle Edwards in the line of three, just in behind striker Kenneth Zahor. Forest have the ball with Lolly across halfway, laid into the path down the left-hand side, and Robinson on the overlapping run, gives it back to Lolly again, via a touch from Semedo, and now here's Thiago Silva. Silva rolls it for Dawson, and Dawson to the right-hand side now for Cash, midway inside the Albion half, sends a ball across, might come back post, it will come back post for Robinson, tight angle, and his shot is blocked, bounces away towards Lolly. Lolly is 35 yards out, down the left-hand side, clever feet, away from two, bangs over across, that the right-hand ball around the edge of the box, nothing given, it's out for a throw, good start.
Yeah, fast start across from Cash on the right-hand side. And the ball beat 3 or 4 people and it just landed at the far post, and there was the other fullback, Jack Robinson, had actually a poor first touch. The Ferguson young defender got across and blocked the shot. It was on target though.
Robinson to take the throw from the left-hand side, arrows it in towards the 6-yard box, but it's comfortably headed away. And now here's Watson to hoist it back over his shoulder, high back into the Albion penalty area, and then nodded clear once more by Kyle Bartley. Forest have it back again though with Lolly, who rides a challenge, and now Semedo down the left-hand side. Semedo level with the edge of the box, cuts the cross in towards the back post. Cash arrives, gets a touch to it, it goes up in the air. Cash then has another chance to put it back to the edge of the box. It's headed clear but not very far. Adoma picks it up midway inside the Albion half, right-hand side of the field, but he's been shown the door. Does well to hold on to possession and give it to Watson. Watson forward to Semedo, who's operating further up the pitch than Thiago Silva in the early stages of this one. Robinson now left-hand side again for Lolly. Lolly 30 yards out, fires over the cross, gets a double ricochet, can't keep the ball, and actually goes down injured, does Joe Lolly, and the ball is knocked away from him by Ferguson, long down the field, up towards Zahor. He holds it up, good challenge comes in from Worrell to win it back again off Krabinovic, and Forest go forward once more. Into the feet of Graben, it's played by Silva. Graben on halfway, holds on to it, turns it wide right for Cash. Good start to this game, 0-0, 3 minutes in. Cash tucks it back into his own half for Dawson, closed down by Zahor, sends it long down the left-hand side for Lolly, who's okay. Lolly chips it forwards further towards Robinson. Comes back for Lolly. First time ball forward, left-hand side for Semedo. Rolls it infield for Robinson again. Robinson's got Silva square of him. Silva, middle of the Albion half. Feigns to shoot. Evades a challenge. Gets it back on his right foot. Shoots. Deflects. Loops up in the air. And Sam Johnston makes the catch under his own crossbar. 0-0. It's breathless stuff.
It's good stuff as well. I mean, good passing from Forest, good movement. There's a fluidity about Semedo and Silva in little pockets, getting in around West Brom penalty area there. But they just popped the ball around Forest from left to right and looked after it lovely. I think the crowd liked that.
Up gets Zahor with Cash. It goes over the heads of both of them actually. And it's cleared away by Dawson, but it'll go out for a throw on the far side of the field. That's West Bromwich Albion's right-hand side, which is going to be taken by Nathan Ferguson. As I say, just 18 years of age. He's making his Albion debut today. Throws it into Livermore. And it is set all the way back in the end to Sam Johnston, who turns it out left-hand side. Gibbs plays it back to James under pressure from Adoma, and it was fouled by Adoma. Just about. It was Kyle Bartley who was under pressure, and he just about managed to get away with it as he was brought down. Lolly can't keep the ball in play 10 yards inside his own half, and so it'll be a West Bromwich Albion throw down their far side, their right.
Am I right saying, Colin, against Palace pre-season they played Lolly on the right against Palace? Yeah. So you think they're stuck in there against a young kid for his first half?
Yeah, might well have done, might mate. Against Nathan Ferguson and Albert Adoma on the other flank, up against the more experienced Kieran Gibbs. 0-0 the score, 5.5 minutes played. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham earlier in the day. Defeat for Notts County on their opening match in the National League. They lost 1-0 to Eastleigh, had 2 men sent off as well. And a draw for Mansfield, having been 2 down to Newport. They ended up drawing 2-2. Despite also having a man sent off. Jacob Mellis shown a red card at Rodney Parade. You'll hear reaction to that later in the programme, and you can also get links to it in a short while online as well on our social media feeds. BBC Nottingham Sport on Twitter. Here's Dawson sending it forward towards Graben, but it's headed away from him by Jay and hoisted forward early. And Zahor down the left-hand side near the corner of the Forest penalty area gets to the ball, but he's held up by Watson, who then wins it off him. And Cash turns it away towards halfway. Bartley wins the header.
Great touch, well played.
Lovely control from Semedo, but then he loses it as he was up against two, and then he has to commit the foul.
He's unlucky, to be fair. It was great to play in the first place, but the ball's moving again with West Brom.
Kyle Edwards finds Gibbs on the overlap. Gibbs with the cross on the left-hand side. Dawson turns it away from Zahor. Watson, slight miss kick, and that presents the ball to Filip Krovinovic, the Croatian, edge of the penalty area. Now Zahor lays it backwards again for Kyle Edwards. Edwards rolls it square. Comes back again left-hand side for Romain Sawyers, and now for Kieran Gibbs, level with the edge of the penalty area left side. Turns it infield to Edwards, finds the horse feet just inside the box. He tries the first time layoff. It goes out of play for a goal kick. First little flurry we've seen from West Brom coming forward, and it remains 0-0 at the City Ground.
A little challenge there between, well, last year's playoffs. That would have been the challenge there between Adoma and Kieran Gibbs, West Brom v Villa. In May time, on that occasion, Adoma got back and snuffed out the threat of Gibbs, tried to get forward, get a cross in, but Adoma body shape was really good, and he sent Gibbs infield onto his right foot.
Silva in some space, just inside the centre circle, controls, turns, lays it off for Robinson. Robinson charging forward into the West Brom half, gives it outside him now to Lolly, level with the edge of the box. Lolly trying to go outside Ferguson, but Ferguson sticks at his task and wins it. Forest though win it back again with Semedo, who was impressed in the... I know we're only 8 minutes in, but he's had a very good 8 minutes. Here's Cash down the right-hand side for Adoma, who flicks it back into the path of Cash, who shoots down low and scores! Forest in front! 8 minutes in, it's Matty Cash linking up beautifully with Alvin Adoma. Lovely lazy flick of the right boot from Adoma to lift it high over the defender and back into the path of Cash. And Cash blasts it from the edge of the box, low down into the Bridgeford end goal, and Forest lead West Brom by a goal to 0. 8 minutes into the new season. Forest 1, West Brom 0.
Well, you couldn't really say it was coming because only 9 minutes gone, but the play's been so good that hard chances have been created, and that one there, the ball was fizzed into Adoma on the right wing, back to the goal really, tight angle, but the outside of his right foot, split the ball up. Knowing that Cash would go on the inside of him, which he did do. The ball bounced off his Matty Cash, probably about 20 yards from goal, just to the right of the D. And a superb, sweetly struck right little shot, low, where keepers don't like them, just inside the keepers. We're looking at the right-hand post, and it flew into the net. Superb finish from Matty Cash, got a lot of good left foot, and that was a controlled finish there. Didn't lash at the ball, kept it down and low, and fouled the corner. But a lovely move. Adoma's made the goal really. But it's been a well-deserved kind of first goal for the first 10 minutes of play. It's been excellent from Forest.
Yeah, super link-up play down the right-hand side, and just rewards for an excellent start to the match and an excellent start to the season. And Cash weighing in with a goal from right back. Scored quite a few in the early part of last season as well, didn't he, Matty Cash? And he'll be pleased to get off the mark early doors this season as well. One to the Reds, and almost full, not quite, but very nearly full City Ground in good spirits. Dawson tries a long ball to try and find Lolly. It's cut out by Ferguson. Forest win it back again on halfway. Watson finds Adoma again. Adoma quickly gets it out from under his feet. Cash tries to lay it into Silva, but it's intercepted by Sawyers. His ball forward to Zahor is won by Dawson. Forest win it back again. A word, Steve, on Forest shape. We talk a lot about 4-2-3-1. This seems a bit more like 4-1-4-1, isn't it? With Semedo further forward, and Watson in the holding role. Semedo and Silva are further forward in there.
Watson on the ball now. He's really the defensive midfield player. Krovinovic, he should be looking after him. He's there now with him, but actually he's not watching it at all where he's going really. And at the moment, Ben Watson is giving us a 3-on-2 in there, and we're dominating the ball.
West Brom have it. Silva gets the wrong side of Sawyers though, and he's brought down. I beg his pardon, that's Edwards, and it'll be a free kick for West Brom.
Look at it, Billy Sam here. Now look at his fingers are going at the moment. To his thought, to his coaching staff there. Probably trying to work out, but it's quite simple that Ben Watson at the moment is a spare man in there. When we have the ball and no one's picking him up.
Albion free kick inside the centre circle, just inside their own half. Sabri Lamouchi is obviously quite happy at the moment. He's gone and sat down from his technical area in the dugout. Still struggling a little bit to get used to seeing him in that dugout, which has always been the away dugout, but such was the Frenchman's preference, and he hasn't stayed there long. Here he comes again in his t-shirt, back out to the edge of the technical area. Watching West Brom have the ball inside the Forest half. Kravinovic lays it off to Livermore, gets it back again, and now lays it first time to Phillips. Little one-touch passing from West Brom. Kravinovic again, nodded down by Phillips towards the Hoare edge of the box, and as he nods it down, Semedo hooks it away up to halfway. Albion win it again with Bartley. Bartley gets it back once more from Sawyers, forward into Edwards, and now here's Romain Sawyers again. Signing from Brentford this summer. Kravinovic lays it forward and gets it back again, now turns it right-hand side for the first time cross to be knocked in low by Ferguson and blocked by Robinson, out for a throw.
Yeah, a good play there from West Brom. They pop the ball around, it's a nice surface, good players, and force the ball out right to the young fullback Ferguson. Tried to play it first time with his right foot into the box and got cut out by Robinson, and throw in right in the far corner.
Forest lead 1-0. Matty Cash with a goal after 8 minutes. It was 4.5 minutes ago. And you're listening to the home of live Nottinghamshire sport. It's BBC Radio Nottingham on a Saturday evening with the football season back with you from a lively City ground. Here's Kravinovic once more for West Brom. Turns it left side for Kyle Edwards. Edwards rolls it back to the about 25 yards out for Sawyers. Little touch to his right. Kravinovic back for Sawyers. Digs one over the top to Hoare. Never even bothered chasing after it. I think he would have realised he was offside anyway. And in any case, it was pretty much overhit. Goes through to Aro Muric. Kosovan international. He was born in Switzerland. Played his early football in Switzerland with both FC Zurich and Grasshoppers. Then moved to Manchester City, from where he's on loan. He now has 5 Kosovo international caps.
No, well, he's a good size.
Yeah, 6
I mean, Pantelimon was big, and he's obviously a little bit smaller than that, but I think his distribution, what I saw in the game against Palace, is better than Pantelimon's.
Commanded his area in that game as well, didn't he?
Did.
Came out for a few catches. And
he was brave sometimes, wasn't he, against Benteke? He was, yeah.
Generally bossed it that night. Again, but Forest won, not the pre-season results matter very much. Thiago Silva runs into the back of Sawyers. Free kick given by the referee. I think I've mentioned him yet. Darren England from South Yorkshire. And here's Livermore on halfway. Forest 1-0 ahead. Livermore lays it off for Semi Ajayi, former Rotherham man, and now here's Matt Phillips through the middle of the Forest half and finding Edwards, left corner of the penalty area, jinking into the box. Edwards jinking one way then the other, turns away from Cash and then hits the shot underneath the body of Muric, and it's 1-1. West Brom level after 14 minutes. And that is a moment that Muric will probably want back. He may have been unsighted, but it was right under his body, pretty much straight at him and under him and into the net. And Kyle Edwards equalises for West Bromwich Albion. Forest lead lasted 6 minutes.
Yeah, I've got to say, I think he'll be disappointed with that one. I think he should have saved it, really. It's Kyle Edwards on the left wing. Put it up to his right foot on an angle from about 12 yards. Went to shoot to the far corner, came back onto his left. He left Matty Cash a little bit exposed there, and then he just smashed the ball low as he could, because he was only 8 yards from the goal. And he has smashed it. He's not messed about. He's hit it quite hard. He kept it low, and it's gone right, I think, past Muric's left foot and squeezed in the far corner. And it was a well-hit shot from not that far away. And he may say that 6'6", I couldn't get down to that enough, and he may have a point. But I think most keepers would think they might get something on that to keep it out, keep your legs down there. But it was a well-hit shot from a decent move, and unfortunately the keeper won't be happy with that one, I don't think.
No, it's not the start he would have wanted to his competitive Forest career. And we're back to 1-1. A couple of people mentioned to me before kick-off they thought there might be plenty of goals today. Here's Edwards again down the left-hand side, and he puts the cross over back post, and the man arriving late was Phillips, and was not far away from making contact back post, but it goes away for a goal kick. Albion have recovered well from the concession of the early goal.
Yeah, they have. They've got got possession of the ball a lot more. And the young kid, Edwards, I've not seen play anything before actually. He was talked about in a good light by many people in the game. Certainly made his mark there.
It's only his 6th start, he's 21. And he's got his goal today here at the City Ground. And it's 1-1.
Supposed to be fair looking at. Hang on a minute.
Cash over the top, and Graben is offside.
When you're looking at both the goals, you see there the plus and minus of having a right winger at right back. The fact that in the final third you can take a chance like that, Matthew Cash, and finish like that is what a winger would do. And defensively there, one-on-one in the box, he gets done by a tricky winger because that's really not his trade. And he might have to learn that a little bit if he wants to play here and wants to play at right back and have a career in there. I'm sure he doesn't. I think he'd rather be a right winger, but you just saw there, clearly the two strands you're dealing with there. And you put somebody in a place that I'm not totally comfortable at.
Robinson sent the ball forward long and high. Jay's underneath it, turns it to his right towards Ferguson. Forest have switched their wingers.
Yeah.
So Lolly and Adoma have now switched. So like you say, maybe just opening 10 minutes to let Lolly have a run against Ferguson. I guess the fact that they've switched back is testament to Ferguson, isn't it?
Well, I suppose so. It's only 15 minutes and Forest had a real bright start, and I'm not exactly sure why they've had the change around because, apart from obviously they've got the equaliser, but Forest have played pretty well so far.
1-1, and the ball is back with Muric, all in light blue. Not quite as light blue as the Manchester City of his parent club. And he gets it back again from Joe Worrell.
Yeah, I mean, Dawson and Worrell kind of at either end of the penalty area. The ball's been played across to them. That's a straight ball that Matty Cash probably won't get. Two straight balls. Dawson will know better than that. They can't play a straight pass like that. Runs well out of play. But they're trying to get Watson on the ball in between Dawson and Worrell. And now and again they are. At the moment, if they're looking at Bilic, he's trying to work that situation out a little bit, shouting at Jake Livermore. But he'll be so pleased to get the equaliser so quickly after conceding when they got a real hammering in the first 10 minutes.
Albion have it on the edge of their penalty area. That's the voice of Steve Hodge, the former Forest and England midfielder, with us for another season on Match Day on the home of live Nottinghamshire sport. Reminder earlier in the day, Newport 2, Mansfield 2 on the opening day of the League 2 season, and Eastleigh 1, Notts County 0 on the opening day for Notts County in non-league. Here, 1-1 at the City Ground, and don't forget, coming up from 7 o'clock on the BBC Sport website and app, there's more T20 cricket for you with Nottinghamshire tonight at Old Trafford to take on Lancashire. That's coming up from 7 with Dave Bracegirdle on the BBC Sport website online, and also you'll be able to find it on the BBC Sport app as well. Livermore for West Brom, 10 yards inside his own half, and he lays it off now for Semi Ajayi, who turns it long towards the left-hand side. Gibbs is halfway inside the Forest half, gives it to Edwards. Lolly is back with Edwards, gets the challenge in, but Edwards rides that challenge, low cross, and Watson meets it at the near post. Sent forward to halfway, but Graben is second to the ball. Forest, though, getting back once more with first Adoma, then Robinson, who takes a quick throw to try and get Adoma away, in behind the defenders, and he is wide left, but he's got away from the defenders, down the left-hand side, fires over his cross towards Graben, and it's just nipped away from him by Kyle Bartley's head, and goes away for a throw on this near side. Forest right. Good thinking, quick thinking from Robinson and Adoma.
Bright and alert. It must have been a 40-odd throw in. Actually zipped it down the line to Adoma. Good cross with his left foot to the back stick. And there was Lewis Graben just behind Cal Bart, waiting for the centre to miss the ball. And he did a little flick off his head and he cleared the ball. But he hadn't. Graben was in.
1-1 the score. And Gibbs clears for West Brom. Up towards halfway. Dawson wins the header, but it comes off towards Phillips. And now Kravinovic, left-hand side, 15 yards inside Forest half. Lays it off for Edwards, who's become a real influence the last 10 minutes or so of the game, having got the equaliser. And they're trying to get it to Edwards at every conceivable opportunity. And again, in the same way as we were talking about Forest trying to take on the debutant fullback Nathan Ferguson, the 18-year-old, West Brom will have looked at Forest, seen Derrickw's injury in midweek, thought, well, Matty Cash isn't the right back, so we'll try and get it in.
Yeah.
And you look at the Forest squad, they have it's a huge squad, as we've mentioned. They've got a lot of...
Oh, it's a bad tackle.
Oh, that is a late tackle on Dawson by Sawyers. Dawson stays down inside the centre circle, but Forest still have it with Grabban. Dawson gets up again. Grabban turns it left-hand side to Robinson, and now Adoma. Wide left, level with the edge of the penalty area. Adoma taking on his man, getting the boos from the West Brom fans as a former Aston Villa player, and now turns it backwards towards Robinson. Robinson is in a bit of a tussle and a wrestling match, and in the end he goes down, and Forest get the free kick, which is about 5 yards out, diagonally from the left corner of the penalty area.
Yeah, I know he's 18, Ferguson, but reminds me of Micah Richards' stature.
He's a big lad, isn't he?
Small, but really stocky. And I think today he's probably a little bit unlucky there. I think just he had too much strength there for Joe Lolly, but Joe went down in a nice theatrical way, and he's won a free kick on the far side, and he's there, and so is Thiago Silva. So, me personally, from that angle, has to be Silva.
The right footer. Silva right-footed, or Lolly left-footed. Dawson has gone up into the penalty area, so too has Worrell, Adoma, Semedo, and Grabban all in there as well. Semedo is 6'2", tall, thin player. So plenty of height for Forest in the penalty area, as either Silva or Lolly prepared to take this free kick. Midway through the first half, 1-1 the score. It is going to be Thiago Silva, dangerously near post. It flicked off somebody, defender, and behind for a corner kick. Lewis Grabban was lurking just behind that said defender and would have nodded it home.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned there about the height we've got now. Semedo, Worrell, Dawson, Adoma are all 6 foot. You do think there's possibilities. Whereas last season it appeared to be probably a couple, and that really was it.
Sammy Amiobi on the bench at 6'4".
Yeah.
Corner, right hand side. Cash is going to take. Silva offering the short option. And also on this near side of the field is Lolly. It is taken short to Silva. Silva crosses to Watson to nod into the ground from the edge of the penalty area, and it loops up and is claimed by the goalkeeper. I think that looked like a training ground ploy that didn't quite work.
I don't mind, to be fair, it was different. Yeah. It caught West Brom out. They're a bit static. I think they've all tried. Obviously, the main thing was to try and get Watson free on the edge of the box, and Kravinovic and read it well, actually. Just got there across Ben Watson, putting off a little bit. His header went down to the ground and then bounced towards the keeper. But good game so far, really is. I mean, two good passing teams.
Here's Phillips running dangerously through the Forest half from right to left. Turns it left-hand side now for Edwards, who gives it further left side for Gibbs, and back it goes for Edwards once more. Rolled infield to Kravinovic. And now Kyle Edwards again. He's got his back to goal, but he's trying to turn away from Lolly, who stuck in his task and won it well. And then Semedo towards halfway. Kravinovic back on halfway. Quite sure why the number 10, the attacking midfielder, was on halfway, but he was, and he did a good job for his team. And then Robinson with a strong challenge far side gives Albion a throw down there right hand side of the field. Taken by Ferguson backwards to Semi Ajay. And now Kyle Bartley, a Swansea man who began his career at Arsenal. So too did Kieran Gibbs, who launches this down the field left hand side. It's kept in play by Zahor, and now to the edge of the penalty area it goes. And here's Livermore crossing, and just flicks through the 6-yard box and away on the far side. Did it take a deflection? Yes, it did. So it's going to be a throw to West Brom.
It is an area that it's certainly thought about. Edwards and Gibbs against Lolly and Cash.
Yeah. Throw for Albion, just a few yards from the corner flag. 1-1 the score. 20 minutes to go until half time. Ferguson throws it backwards, and then it's looped further back into the centre circle. Kyle Bartley. Bartley for Sawyers, and back to Bartley again, and back to Sawyers again. Main Sawyers flips it forward towards Phillips. He's turning away from Watson. Got Ferguson outside into his right. Here is Ferguson level with the edge of the Forest penalty area. Forced away from goal by 2. Robinson and Adoma, but now Phillips pings in.
Oh, no!
How has he scored from there?
Oh, he got lucky.
Phillips has mishit across, presumably, from probably 25 yards along the touchline, but right on the touchline. So that's got to travel a long, long way and loop over the 6'6" Aro Muric and find its way inside the back post. That's an extraordinary goal scored by Matt Phillips. And Muric is beaten for a second time. And after 26 minutes, West Brom have turned a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 lead. A freak of a goal, though.
Yeah, exactly, freak of a goal. If you go back many years to the World Cup, Ronaldinho's free kick against David Seaman, take it onto the byline, 10 yards to the right, and it's on the same distance. He's curled it in. He's got a bad angle actually. Tried to whip the ball in and try and get it curling for Zaha. He hasn't got the curl on it. It's got a bit of curl, and you can just see the keeper backtracking. His feet are going really quickly. He realises he can't get there, and he has to go right in the angle between crossbar and post, and that's exactly where it's landed. And for the keeper, I think that's unfortunate for the keeper. It really is. It's a miss hit, yeah, it's a poor cross really, and he probably get the blame for that one. But I don't think he's to blame for that one. I think that's just a freakish goal that's come out of nothing really. And obviously Matt Phillips will probably, I imagine, he would say it was a freak, because from where he was on the byline, there's no way in a million years you try and score from that angle.
So Forest, after a bright start and going in front to cap that bright start, find themselves 2-1 down. Here's Joe Lolly, halfway inside the Albion half, turning the ball infield. Semedo thought about leaving it for Worrell, in the end touches it back to Worrell, halfway, and Worrell across for Watson's little cushion ball infield to Lolly. Middle of the Albion half. Looking forwards now to the right-hand side and plays it to Cash. Cash on his left foot curls over across towards the back post. Adoma arriving, didn't quite get his head to it. Nathan Ferguson seemed to want to leave it. Adoma just tried to steal in front of him, couldn't get his head to it, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Forest just need to pick themselves up again.
Yeah, the keeper does. I mean, he's letting two. The first one, I think he probably feel he could have done better. I mean, it was a good shot though. He was low, and he's 6'6". That there for the keeper, for me, he hasn't got a chance.
Cleared by Johnston, straight onto the head of Cash, who nods it forward. It's well intercepted by Gibbs, and then he's put his boot high into the face of Cash, who tried to win it back. Cash is okay. And Forest get a free kick midway inside the Albion half. Lolly takes, short, Silva, then Watson, now Worrell. Worrell, left-hand side, plays it to Robinson, who's caught in possession by Phillips. And here they come again, Albion marauding forward. Back gets Watson, gets a good challenge in. Good tackle by Ben Watson, good covering by the experienced man. And now Adoma forward to Semedo as Forest try and turn defence into attack. Semedo jigs his way away from Ferguson and rolls it infield to Thiago Silva. Silva, square for Lolly, he's 35 yards out, gets it back from Silva, it's on his left foot, and he hits it high and wide, never got over it.
It's your Saturday night, it's BBC Radio Nottingham, and it's the beat on the beat.
Yeah, Jack Roberts on the far side there will know that he'll know better than me. Matt Phillips is a big unit, and if you let the wing get near you, he'll get his arm across you and fling into the ground like that, and it wasn't the free kick. Just too much strength for Robinson, and away he went, and good covering there from Ben Watson. He got back and helped his left back out. The half an hour gone. 2-1. Wide open game, 4 passes. There we go. Lucky one there. The West Brom lad did remain sore. He took a risk, but it's now this left side again for West Brom.
Yeah, things going West Brom's way at the moment. Here's Edwards, rolls it infield, and here's Livermore just inside, just on the edge of the centre circle.
It's a free kick.
Fouled by Worrell.
It was a free kick. Joe can't complain. Just see he nicked his ankle. He's going to go down. Just like it.
Yeah, Phillips.
Just force him back. Put your hand on his shoulder, on his back. Force him back.
So Forest maintaining a high line for this free kick, which is just about bang in the middle of their half. The line of defenders is a few yards outside the penalty area.
I've seen the new rules this year about free kicks.
Attacking. No attacking players in the wall.
Can be in the wall, yeah. You can be in front of it if it's more than a yard.
Yeah. So
I used to do that a lot, going to the wall.
Yeah.
And it does work. So I don't know why that's been outlawed, really.
You used to clear players out of the way, didn't you?
I remember. Yeah.
Here's Matt Phillips shooting after the free kick was taken short, and he's dragged it wide.
Do you know why they've had that law imposed on them?
I think to stop that.
But if you go on the end of the wall, then you're just extending the wall, that's all.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem in that, really.
No, that's an odd one. I'll tell you the other odd one is that you have a drop ball. Well, there are no contested drop balls anymore. Everything's uncontested.
Yeah.
But you have one of those if it hits the referee.
Forget that.
I don't see the point.
Forget it.
Why do we have to stop the game? Here's Dawson. To the right-hand side for Cash. Forest trailing 2-1 and lose their way again. Watson, though, gets a good foot in on halfway, and that releases the ball for Lolly down the right-hand side. Lolly cutting in against Sawyers. And he just lost control of the ball. He'd beaten Sawyers. I think he was about to shoot, trying to wrap his left foot round the ball, and then it just ran away from him. And now here's Livermore running into the Forest half with Ferguson making tracks outside him to his right again. Here's Nathan Ferguson, well forward, crossing. It hits Robinson and runs away for a throw, just a yard or so from the corner flag.
Yeah, Forest were attacking there, I think, with Matty Cash, and they lost the ball. And he just saw because Semedo and Thiago Silva are playing out the pitch today. A little more could see there was a bit of breakaway on. It just burst all into an acre of space around the centre circle and strode away. Had time to look left, look right. Eventually he went right to Nathan Ferguson and he forced a corner throw in on the far side. And they still have it there now for a second time. Another throw in.
Again, it's just a few yards from the corner flag. Down West Bromwich Albion's right. Robinson trying to wrest the ball away from Phillips. Phillips is big and strong and wins another throw for West Brom. Ferguson to take. Gives it back to Livermore. Livermore has it again then right side, and he's dispossessed well by Semedo. Now here's Watson, finds Lolly, 15 yards inside his own half, turns it back first time for Dawson, and Dawson to the right hand side now for Cash. Cash stops on halfway and has to go all the way back, and in the end did so for Muric, who clears into the centre circle. Nice touch from Silva, and then Semedo gets Adoma away down the left-hand side. Adoma towards the edge of the penalty area. Ferguson with a cracking challenge, but then loses out. Wilson trying to win it back, and then Ferguson tangles with Adoma just inside the penalty area, and nothing is given, and it's played up towards Zahor, who rides the challenge of Dawson on halfway and runs forward with Kravinovic outside him to his right. Turns it backwards for Livermore, who then tries to find Kravinovic, but overhits it and out for a throw. Not too many shouts for a penalty.
Yeah,
a bit of a tangle, really.
He got excited because he'd made a mistake. He got a good tackle in actually on Adoma, had a bad touch, and then he gave all the way with a bad pass, and he panicked a bit and leant over Adoma a wee bit. It seemed a bit well, there wasn't a firm push, but he shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have risked it really, and he got away with one there possibly. I mean, he would say it's definitely a penalty, but he wouldn't risk it. Certainly, kind of when you're looking at the home team and the losing 2-1 and the fervent crowd behind and giving the referee a chance, you just never know. But so far, he likes to tackle the right back.
Yep, he's in trouble here, Ferguson, up against Adoma, but just about manages to ride the challenge of Adoma, and Albion have sent it back to Sam Johnston, who's all in pink. Way to our right, pink with a lilac trim, his goalkeeper's jersey. There's Gibbs on halfway, and rolls it infield to Sawyers. Sawyers back out to Ferguson, right side. Now down the line for Matt Phillips again. Phillips cutting infield, running dangerously towards the Forest penalty area again.
They must come this way now. They must come left. They've been that way enough.
Here's Sawyers as they work it backwards. Kravinovic, and he lays it off to Gibbs, and Albion's turn to keep possession for a bit. Back into their own half for Bartley, and now Semi Ajay to the right hand side for Ferguson. Ferguson backwards for Ajay again, just lets it run across his body, but there's plenty of time to get it away from Lewis Grabban. And now Bartley happy to send it back to Sam Johnston once more. The Manchester United goalkeeper plays it to Kyle Bartley, who plays it back to him. 2-1, West Brom lead. 10 minutes to go until half-time. Forest were 1-0 up through Matty Cash, but Kyle Edwards and Matt Phillips, with a freak of a goal, have made it 2-1 to Albion. Here's Edwards again. He's well forward left-hand side. He's taking on Cash just outside the penalty area. Rolls it back now for Kravinovic, who tries to curl one with his right foot from 25 yards, always going wide, and it's a goal kick. It remains 2-1 to West Brom.
Yeah, that came from a kick from the keeper there, Johnson. Diagonal with his right foot to the left back, Kieran Gibbs. A lovely take in front of him, and he strode on because Jolly was a yard behind him then. And then he found Edwards. He pulled the ball back just outside the D area. Kravinovic, and the Croat, the technical ability he's got, tried to curl it in with his right foot to the far side. Got no real curl on the ball really, but decent move from West Brom. And at the moment, it's just gone a bit quietly. I mean, to be fair, the first 40 minutes or 35 has flown by really. It's a red hot day, first game of the season. The energy's pumping in this first 20. Just a little bit calmer now.
Cash, long ball forward. Bartley gets up to head it, and has actually ended up heading it backwards. Has to chase after it to prevent it going for a corner, and hooks it away instead for a Forest throw. Right hand side, Cash with not much to throw at the moment. Somebody can move forward a little bit by the referee. Gets it back from Silva, hooks it forward straight to Bartley. Gibbs then hastily clears across the field, and it ends up with Lolly, left hand side, midway inside the Albion half. Robinson on the overlap, tucks it back infield for Joe Lolly. Lolly approaching the edge of the penalty area. Square now for Silva, who dinks one down the right flank for Cash, who's well forward, who gets the crossover, comes all the way out the far side of the penalty area for Robinson. Robinson for Semedo on the edge of the box, on the corner of the penalty area. Looks like he's having his shirt tugged by Livermore. Goes down but gives it to Lolly anyway. Lolly squares it back towards the penalty spot. Didn't come to the penalty spot where Adoma had the trigger cocked and ready to fire, but it didn't reach him. But for me, it looked like Semedo was having his shirt tugged all over the place by Jake Livermore.
Yeah, it's a long way from where we are, but he was extremely touch tight there. It looked to be too much, like you said, Colin, and he's taking a bit of risk again, but the referee was, position was perfect to look at it, and he thought, not enough for me to give a pen.
Here's Adoma having a run down the right hand side, gets away from his man, squares it back for Cash, who drives it first time out for a throw on the far side. Just got his angles all wrong. Lovely play by Adoma, good pull back as well, and Cash in space. He was only about 10 yards out, but he's just got his angles completely wrong with the shape of his body, and it's just across the face.
The shape of his foot as well. They struck the ball with that curl on it, had to drive it straight, and obviously you don't sometimes know where you are exactly in the penalty area, but he did curl it, and it curled away, and like you say, went to the far corner flag.
2-1 to West Bromwich Albion. Better few minutes though from a Forest perspective. Forward towards Grabban. All over him is Semir J. Just climbed all over the back of Lewis Grabban to head it out into touch. Forest only get a throw, not a free kick. And Robinson to take. In short to Thiago Silva. Silva, diminutive figure, 5'7", Portuguese, former under-21 and under-23 international. Now for Cash down the right-hand side, back infield to Thiago Silva. Turning one way, then the other, looking for some help, surrounded by two, loses out in the end to Livermore, and that frees it up for Kravinovic, who has Phillips making a run down the inside right channel, but ignores him and goes left-hand side anyway for Kieran Gibbs. Gibbs away from Cash and into the penalty area, and across gets Watson and makes the challenge. And out it goes for a throw to West Bromwich Albion, a yard or so from the corner flag. In fact, is it going to be Forest throw? No, I thought Cash was wandering across to take it after a double ricochet, but it is Albion's ball.
Yeah, so they're just trying to play, calmness and control football, and he got two men around him, and once Livermore got near him, strength of the man, it was an easy take off the Portuguese midfield player there. From there, the break was on.
Trying to win it back again is Silva. Gets a hefty challenge and goes down, but the ball is broken anyway for Alpha Semedo. Semedo runs into the Albion half, lays it off now to Lolly. Lolly 25 yards out. He gives it back again to Semedo, who shoots over the crossbar from the corner of the penalty area. Away for a goal kick. 2-1 still to West Bromwich Albion.
Yes, here's a problemless right back situation really. You saw Kieran Gibbs there just send Matty Cash the wrong way completely with his dummy, and then had a bad touch in the box, and they got away with that one, but it is a worry.
Yeah, I was mentioning earlier that you look round the Forest squad and they've got cover in every position except right back, where Deriqua was the only one, with Byram going to Norwich having ended his loan spell. Yanko was on loan of course as well last season. And now they lose their way on halfway again, and Albion come forward. And then Livermore gives it straight to Watts.
Oh dear.
Silver. Poor ball from Silver, gives it straight back to West Brom. And this is Ferguson once more, cleverly away from Silver in the penalty, in the centre circle, and now left-hand side for Gibbs, and further outside him is Kyle Edwards, level with the edge of the Forest box. Rolls it backwards again for Kieran Gibbs. Gibbs backwards for Sawyers, who now finds Gibbs down the inside left channel and turns it back infield towards Sawyers once more, and this time Albert Adoma is back covering, and he hooks the ball away to safety. It looked like Silver made a back for the West Brom man who goes down. Silver gets it clear long down the field, but too long. Slaven Bilic is going absolutely bonkers at the fourth official. I have to say, I thought it was a foul by Silver, and it's one of those where if you fall over the top awkwardly, you could do some damage to your back.
Yeah, I've been in that situation myself where the ball's in the air and I was only 5'7", and you know where someone's got up earlier than you are, as Edwards did there, to be fair to him. I don't think actually did anything wrong. He just stayed where he was and thought, well, if you had it, you had it, but you know, I'm not going to kind of nudge you. You didn't need it nudge because you can't have the ball anyway, in particular anyway. So for me, I think that was a good decision from the referee.
It's a sign of the fact it's first day of the season and it's very hot out there, albeit the sun's gone behind clouds. It's still a stickily hot day, and with 3 minutes to go until half-time, every single outfield player from both sides has come across to get some liquid on board as Kyle Edwards gets some treatment. And they'll be back underway with West Brom still leading by 2-1.
It's very rare that you see two benches on the first game of the season with two clubs like this, and from what I can see, there's only one genuine striker out of the 12 outfield players. Rafa Mir is a striker, but apart from that, not one slug. I mean, obviously Brennan Johnson's a young striker, but nobody of note that either team to really bring on.
Edwards is going to be okay for West Brom. There's a couple of minutes left plus stoppage time at the end of this first half. At half-time, we'll hear from the Mansfield Town manager, John Dempster, after his side's comeback today at Newport. 2-2 is how that finished. Already heard from Neil Ardley after Notts County's 1-0 defeat at Eastleigh today. Notts next in action on Tuesday night. Their game against Stockport will be on all of our frequencies on Tuesday night in match night. And don't forget, coming up from 7 online and on the BBC Sport app, as well as on the BBC Sport website, the cricket, Lancashire against Notts, and we'll preview that for you at half-time in this game as well. Johnston for West Brom clears from right to left. Zahor chests it down, and then Sawyers with a touch inside the centre circle to Livermore. Those two have really got a hold of midfield after Forest were pretty dominant in that area in the early stages of the game. Went in front through Matty Cash, but Kyle Edwards and Matt Phillips have got West Brom into the lead, albeit by a complete fluke of a goal from Phillips. Here's Kravinovic back to halfway.
That's good play from West Brom now.
Yes, keeping the ball down, keeping the ball, making Forest do the running in the heat. And Bartley across to Jay. We're in the 45th minute. I think there'll be much stoppage time. There was that just that one towards the end of the half a couple of minutes ago. Here's Edwards, plenty forward in this attack for West Brom. Lays it down the inside left channel for Phillips, who is onside. The flag stays down. Phillips now into the penalty area, but held up. Lays it back for Sawyers. Sawyers back to the left-hand side for Phillips. Phillips 10 yards out, taking on Cash. Fires over the cross. Cash half blocks it, but Zahor keeps the ball in play. 2 minutes of stoppage time, and Forest get it clear through Dawson. Out to halfway where Bartley picks it up. Bartley left-hand side for Sawyers. Turns it back again for Bartley. And Albion again happy to just take the pace out of the game as they get closer to half-time. Ferguson tackled by Robinson, 10-15 yards inside the Forest half. And the ball breaks for the Reds via Semedo and then Watson. And now it's back with Joe Worrell, who gives it to Dawson. And Dawson across the right-hand side for Cash. Forest goal scorer after 8 minutes. 8 minutes in the bright sunshine where Forest started superbly well and then crowned that start with that goal for Cash. It's not been quite as good since then. Here is Cash once more, 10 yards inside his own half. Forward early towards Grabban. Grabban is onside, flag stays down, but he can't get hold of the ball because Bartley takes it off him, and then Grabban is penalised. Basically, just about had his hand on one shoulder of Kyle Bartley. Just kind of go back to that Livermore incident where he was wrestling all over Semedo on the corner of the penalty area and nothing was given. And Grabban's penalised for that. It doesn't seem quite right. And it's the final few seconds now of the first half. Johnston clears right to left. It's over the head of Cash, but a foul by Kenneth Hall. Just leaving him out of the way. Free kick, which Dawson wants to take quickly. Probably
what a ball as
well. A lovely ball, 50-60 yards diagonal from Dawson out to Lolly, but before Lolly could run towards goal with it, the referee had blown his whistle for half time. Well, it was a very good start by Forest. They looked as if they were enjoying their new season for the first 10 minutes or so. And they were playing some nice football, creating half chances, and eventually Matty Cash, well, I say eventually, after only 8 minutes, Matty Cash fired them in front after a lovely touch from Albert Adoma, shot low from the edge of the penalty area. But on 14 minutes, Kyle Edwards twisted past Cash from the inside left channel, inside the penalty area for West Bromwich Albion, put a shot under the body of debutant goalkeeper Aro Muric. That's one that Muric will want back. It levelled things up at one apiece after 14 minutes. And 12 minutes later, Matt Phillips, from right on the touchline on the right wing, about 25 yards out, fired over a cross, which somehow found its way inside the back post of Aro Muric's net. Complete fluke of a goal, a freak of a goal, a freak miss hit. But it's put West Brom in front by 2-1, and they've been pretty comfortable in keeping Forest at arm's length since that moment. Bright start from Forest, but it soon faded. Steve Hodge, your half-time thoughts?
Good game. Really enjoyed the game. It was a spectacle. And Forest, like you mentioned there, Colin, were great for 10 minutes. Popped the ball around, made some half chances, and then got a superb goal from Matty Cash. And that really was the problem. We conceded after, was it 5 minutes later, we conceded the goal. And they actually got possession of West Brom after the goal and popped it around for 2-3 minutes and got more into the game. And then we saw Edwards do Matty Cash on the outside, and then the keeper may or may not have saved it. But they got back in the game too quickly, West Brom. But in general, I think Forest have struggled in the second part of that half, centre where it's Livermore and it's Romain Soyudu so calm on the ball. When they have the ball, you can't get the ball off them because they're so strong physically. So they've got the game at their tempo a little bit. The helter-skelter in the first 10 was not what they wanted, and they couldn't get near the ball. Once they got the ball and retained the ball better, then the actual initial firepower from Forest was quelled a little bit, and they got the equaliser. And they have controlled it to a degree the last half an hour of that game. The goal was a complete fluke. So take that out of the equation, and it's still a pretty even first half, really. Yes, we haven't created a lot in the last half of that first half, but neither really have West Brom. So if you go in at half time 1-1, taking that freak of a goal out, that probably, for me, will probably be about right, really. So it was a freak, and Phillips is a problem, and the young winger Edwards is a problem for us because they are both, in their own ways, one's a whippet and one's a really powerful, strong runner who can score a goal. He scored a worldie here last year, Matt Phillips, near the end. So positives, we're playing a nice brand of football, and I think we're in the game still. And as usual, going towards the Trent in the second half, we will hope we score a goal. We normally do. So I'm still hopeful the second half we'll get the goals we need to win the game. But it's been a really good game so far, and the free goal just has the noses in front, West Brom.
Thank you, Steve. That is Steve Hodge, the former Forest and England midfielder, with us here on Match Day from BBC Radio Nottingham, reflecting. Starting well for Forest thanks to Matty Phillips means that at the break on the opening day, Forest have work to do in the second half. Forest 1, West Brom 2.
Colin Frey and Steve Hodge talking you through it here on the home of live Nottinghamshire Sport. So Forest with, as they say, work to do in the second half. The guys will be back in about 10 minutes' time. Earlier, Newport and Mansfield drew 2 apiece. Robbie begin to tell the story because the Stags were 2-0 down at one stage, then fall back early in the second half to level at 2 apiece, Nicky Maynard then missed a penalty for the Stags. They then had Jacob Mellis sent off. Newport had a goal ruled out in stoppage time. Defeat for Notts at Eastleigh in their opening National League encounter by a goal to nil. The Magpies having 2 players sent off. You will find all the links there. Incidentally, all of our post-match engine and search for matchday clips. You'll find our page and worth bookmarking it for the future. All the post-match interviews will be there for you, and plenty more nostalgia and video features as well. If you search matchday clips, it will be the first thing that comes up for you. Half-time here at the City Ground. Forest trailing West Brom. That starts at 7. Commentary on the BBC Sport website and app. Dave Bracegirdle and Franklin Stevenson will guide you through it. I guess we're close to the teams and the toss being announced, but not quite as yet, Dave. But this should be an absolute belter tonight, you would think.
It should indeed, yes. Good evening, Robin. Good evening, everybody from Old Trafford. This potentially then one of the matches of the T20 Blast group stage. Indeed, it was only this week that Alex had as tough an assignment as Notts are likely to face before the knockout stages. Lancashire away at Old Trafford, and it's clear to see why Lancashire top the North Group. They're unbeaten, 4 wins, all fairly convincingly, 2 washed out matches, so already they're 3 points ahead of the Outlaws. But at last, Notts delivered a convincing performance last night in that thumping win over Birmingham. We've got a whole posse of people out there in the middle. I think a lot of people will be aware it's a televised game, so there's lots of people out there. The coin has gone up in the air at the moment, and we just wonder if we'll get the news. I'm expecting Notts to be unchanged from last night. A really strong performance all round, especially from the spinners, Matt Carter, Imad Wasim and Samit Patel. They really did bowl well. It's a dry pitch, there's lots of cracks in it. We went out and had a bit of a look. People commenting on small boundaries or short boundaries. Those of you that have seen Old Trafford in the televised games this summer will perhaps be familiar with that huge temporary stand on one side of the ground. Well, the square is, or the strip is right over to that side of the square, meaning there's a short boundary on one side but a colossal one on the other side, the old Warwick Road side. It really is a huge boundary on that side of the ground. I'm just hearing that Notts have lost the toss, and they're going to bowl, so Lancashire will be setting. This is one of those games, Robin, it's pretty impossible to predict how it's going to go, because if you look at Notts, we saw last night, even though Alex Hales got out early on, the likes of Joe Clark and Tom Moore's in a decent bit of form, and it's the same with Lancashire. These powerful top order stroke hitters, if they can get in, they can take the game away from any side. Lancashire, need me to remind you, they've got Glenn Maxwell, who's hurt Notts in the past in this format, Keaton Jennings, Alex Davis, Liam Livingston. So it's a strong top 5 out there. Notts then, they're going to be bowling first. They are going to be chasing, so I fancy this is going to be a case of trying to restrict Lancashire early doors and then hoping that they're able to chase them down.
Thank you very much indeed. That is Dave Bracegirdle reporting from Old Trafford this evening. That commentary on the BBC Sport website and app for you. Here the players come out for the second half at the City Ground. It's Forest against West Brom. The Reds trailing by 2 goals to 1. And to talk you through it, here are Steve Hodge and Colin Fray.
Yes, plenty of work to do then for Forest in the second half, and no doubt a busy first half-time team talk for Sabri Lamouchi, who walks calmly back to his seat in the dugout, the new home dugout. Used to be the away dugout in the Bridgeford half of the field. Seemed calm enough. And as you say, Steve Hodge, as you said at the start of half-time, there was a freak goal between the sides, and that's about it.
That is about it, yeah. I think on the TV we've seen at half-time it was a freak. I thought it was at the time, and it was definitely a freak. The first one more so the keeper won't be happy with it, really. So it was well struck, and for a keeper to do that tall sometimes, but he got his hands behind the ball a little bit, and it just weak hands really, and it went straight through, and that's a disappointing from his point of view. But game's not dead now. Obviously we're 1 behind, need to get a goal back as soon as we can, and it's one of those occasions when you feel as though we need the crowd a little bit today, things to go our way.
No changes at half-time. Yes, that first goal, having seen it again at half-time, it's one of those that's kind of worse from the goalkeeper's perspective every time you see it.
And, to be honest with you, and also Matty Cash's goal.
Yeah.
That was savable.
Yeah. Underway in the second half. with Forest in their red shirts, white shorts and red socks. They're playing from right to left towards the Trent end. For the first time in the season, trailing by 2-1. And Muric clears up to halfway, but Ferguson gets to the ball first and turns it back to Sam Johnston. His long clearance. Underneath it is Dawson to head forward to halfway. Semedo helps it on and then nodded away by Ferguson again. I have to say, I've been impressed by the 18-year-old on his debut in the first 45.5 minutes of the game. It's out for a Forest throw. To the Forest side, Aru Muric in goal. Matty Cash, Joe Worrell, Michael Dawson and Jack Robinson across the back four. Alpha Semedo and Ben Watson in midfield as the ball is sent forward towards Grab and he loses control of it. We had thought that they would be two holding midfielders, Semedo and Watson, but Watson really is operating in that role on his own, so Semedo is a little bit further forward alongside Thiago Silva. Though having said that, as they line up for this
big
goal
press
kick,
on.
he's not. Yeah, Forest have got 4 up the pitch as the goal kick is taken short.
Oh, what a pass that is.
Doesn't come out the penalty area as it doesn't have to. Carl Bartley has played it well down the right hand side up towards Ferguson, who helps it on towards Phillips, and Robinson gets the challenge in. It's going to be a West Brom throw.
And that's just an example there. When you do press 4 against 3, sometimes if the pass is good enough, like it was from Bartley, from left to right 50 yards, they get away.
Yeah. So Watson in the holding role, and then Adoma, Silva, Semedo and Lolly are a line of 4 behind Lewis Grabban. Subs for Forest: Yuri Ribeiro, Tobias Figueiredo, Rafa Mir, the striker on loan from Wolves, Sammy Amiobi, Brendan Johnson, Jaden Richardson and goalkeeper Jordan Smith. So the academy well represented again on the Forest bench as Adoma reels away from a challenge, and then Watson pings a first time ball left hand side for Lolly. Lolly taking on Ferguson. Ferguson blocks his cross, but Forest get a corner in the 3rd minute of the second half.
Yeah, nice pass from Watson there. First time ball laid back to him, just pinged it out on his right foot to Lolly on the touchline down below. He took on Ferguson, the right back, got the ball into the near post, but Ferguson got his toe on the ball and popped out for a corner down below as Thiago Silva, right foot in swinger.
From the left hand side, Lolly offering the short option, but Silva does deliver it into the penalty area. Worrell attacking it back post, didn't reach him, it was headed away. And then Kravinovic gets away from Cash. And Kravinovic has got Kyle Edwards away to his right hand side. Kravinovic goes on, Cash tries to get back to him, the ball bobbles up and he's cleared away by Robinson.
Free kick, actually got away with one there.
Looked like it to me, but here comes Gibbs down the left hand side. He crosses into the penalty area and it's headed away by Worrell, who then got a clattering from his own goalkeeper, but Albion get it back again. Livermore for Gibbs again, left hand side, corner of the penalty area, crosses once more, headed at the back post, but it loops up in the air and is comfortable this time for Aru Muric.
Yeah, Matty Cash got done there on the edge of West Brom's penalty area by Kravinovic. He had to win that one, and off he went, Kravinovic, and went on and on and on, and eventually the pass was going to come to, I think it was Matty Phillips alongside him to put him through on goal, and a little nudge in the back, and I think it was from Matty Cash getting back. Just checked his stride a little bit, Kravinovic, and he did get the pass away and went to safety eventually, but Matty had to win that one, he didn't.
2-1, West Brom lead, nearly 4 minutes played in the second half. Clipped forward by Watson down the right hand side. Cross goes Grabban, but can't get to the ball, then blocks the attempted clearance from Kyle Bart. And it'll be a throw for Albion near their own corner flag. They've got Sam Johnston in goal. Nathan Ferguson, Kyle Bartley, Semi Ajay and Kieran Gibbs across the back four. Jake Livermore and Romain Sawyers their holding men. Matt Phillips, Filip Kravinovic and Kyle Edwards in behind Kenneth Zahor. Played it around the edge of their own penalty area and in danger of losing it as Semedo heads it forward. Little touch from Lolly, but again it falls kindly for West Brom. And Jake Livermore in his yellow and green striped jersey gives it back to his goalkeeper. And now Phillips near halfway, turns around in a circle and ends up having to go backwards towards Bartley, and he goes further back to Johnston, and Johnston clears first time to the left hand side for Kieran Gibbs. Gibbs lays it down the left hand side, and here's Edwards cutting in field, trying to lay the ball into the path of Kravinovic, cut out, but still Albion come forward, and this is Matt Phillips towards the edge of the penalty area, shooting from an angle, and this time he shoots high and over the crossbar. And it's going to be a goal kick for Forest with 5 minutes gone in the second half. Still 2-1 West Brom lead. No question about that Phillips goal in the first half. I mean, we called it at the time, but having seen it again in the half-time interval, clear and complete.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable, but total miss hit. He never once looked up towards the goal, did he? He was just trying to get his foot round it to get the ball into the penalty area. And it just fell in that one angle, in that one area where Muric was going to be unable to keep it out. To be fair to Muric, or any goalkeeper, I think.
Doesn't matter who you were, push Michael in there, he would have got it.
No. Just one of those things, but it's put Forest behind. And West Brom are in possession again. They're inside their own half with Romain Sawyers forward towards Phillips. Phillips trying to turn away from Worrell, does so, but then Watson gets a good foot in, and Semedo quickly plays it out left-hand side for Lolly. Lolly's got a little bit of space. He gets away from Ferguson, who now gets back to him, but Lolly takes him on the outside and crosses back post, and Gibbs heads behind with Adoma lurking behind him. And Forest will have another corner in the second of the second half.
Yeah, it's twice now we've seen Lolly one against Ferguson, and on that occasion the angle of the right back wasn't good enough, and he let Lolly push the ball down the line. He was too far away. Got a decent ball in, back post there was Kieran Gibbs flicking the ball away for a corner to Forest on the far side. Joe Lolly on his own left foot.
Lolly to take the corner from the right hand side, left footed, in swinging corner, in towards the near post, and headed away from that near post area. Off on the charge goes Phillips to try and get on the end of this halfway, and he's got away from Cash, and across gets Robinson to get the challenge in and knock it away into the back row of the lower tier of the Clough stand on the far side of the field. Kravinovic takes a throw quickly, gets the ball back again midway inside the Forest half, and on the left hand side backwards towards Gibbs on halfway. Gibbs tucks it back into his own half of the field for Bartley, and now Ajay to the right hand side for Nathan Ferguson. Back he goes again, the goalkeeper Sam Johnston. It's kind of patient football that they were displaying in the last 5 minutes or so of the first half, West Brom. Here's Phillips twisting one way and then the other on halfway, gets away from Robinson. Ferguson with the ball forward towards Phillips again, and across gets Worrell to turn it away into touch.
Yeah, he's finding it tough against Phillips, Jack Robinson, because he can't out-muscle him. Once he gets the ball, just got to be patient and let him have the ball and try and force him back. He's a clever play, twists one way then the other way.
He's just taken a knock, or if he's having a bit of a breather, Matt Phillips, but he's just put his hands on his knees. I think he's just getting in some air. He's got it again down the right hand side, trying to backheel into the path of Livermore. This time Robinson is too strong and wins it, and Robinson gives it Watson, gives it back to Robinson, who couldn't control it. And it's going to be a throw for West Brom. I think we've just heard the first groans of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was a misplaced pass, but I mean, that's how Forest going to play. They're going to try and play out from tight areas, as West Brom are. You know, do they want people just to launch the ball up the field to grab on his own against two giants? No, they're trying to play the way out.
Albion played all the way back down the pitch to Sam Johnston. 2-1 the score. Matty Cash opened scoring for Forest after 8 minutes. 6 minutes later, Kyle Edwards equalised, mistake first by Cash and then by the goalkeeper Muric. Muric certainly will think he should have saved it. And then the fluke from Matt Phillips on 26 minutes, which has West Brom in front. Here's Kravinovic down the left-hand side, plays it to Edwards. Edwards with the cross with the outside of his boot, which goes right through the 6-yard box and comes out on the far side for West Brom, which is their right-hand side, near side to us. And Phillips plays it back for Ferguson. Now Kravinovic, 30 yards out. Back again for Ferguson. Ferguson tries to find Phillips, but he puts it out of play. Throw for Forest. Sabri Lamouchi wants some urgency here. Outside his technical area just for a second. Bellowing at Robinson to, I think, get on with it quickly, but Robinson still hasn't taken the throw yet. Now throws long down the line, looking for Lolly, but it's easily won by Ajay. Semedo thought he was fouled, nothing given. Livermore stabs it down the right-hand side, but puts it out of play again. Sort of stop-start second half at the moment. No real flow to it yet in the second half. Here's Robinson. Robinson down the right-hand side, headed away by Ferguson for West Brom. Krovinovic hooks it over his shoulder. Worrell wins it. Handles foul by Kenneth Zabor, the Danish striker. Now Forest got a free kick just inside their own half. Worrell takes it, angles it across towards Adoma, but it doesn't reach him because it's headed away by Gibbs. Scrappy period. Neither side able to keep the ball. Given away again by Albion. And Cash gives it to Lolly down the right-hand side near the corner of the box. Lolly works over a cross which takes a deflection and then bounces through to Johnston before it can reach Lewis Grabban. And it remains 2-1 to West Brom with 11 minutes gone in the second half, but a real scrappy few minutes, Steve Hodge.
Yeah, well, that's a good throw out from Johnston, and away West Brom go on the left side, no one there.
Lots of space for Krovinovic to kind of jog forward into. They're backing away from him, and he gets it back on the edge of the penalty area, and now gives it to Livermore, who digs it out right-hand side of the D for Phillips. Back to Livermore again. There's still space for Edwards out on the left-hand side near the corner of the box. Here is Edwards. He crosses towards the back post, looking for Phillips, but it's over his head and curls away for a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get perfect passing in that kind of intricate play, all the time in a game like this when it is high pressure and it is a warm day. I mean, that's been a period of one or two misplaced passes, but I think the players will be happy now because the sun's gone down. It's quite cool down there now, so even though it's still pretty warm, that sun's down there, it really is a nightmare, but say it's a bit cooler now.
Touch back by Ferguson to his goalkeeper Johnston again.
Just here, when they're playing out the back, there's no real pressure for us. They're happy to just sit back. I think that suits West Brom to get their passing going. They're comfortable on the ball. Eventually they get Livermore on the ball, or Sawyers. And I appreciate it's a big pitch to kind of chase people around on the first game of the season. But that may be the way against these, to just force something, because they're playing out the back now with the keeper.
Yeah, very much dictating the tempo, aren't they? They're playing it as they want to.
Well, that happened really from the first goal we scored. They've dictated the pace of the game. Like now, we see with Johnson, I know they're in front, but they're just dictating it, and that's a decent pass.
Out to the left-hand side, Edwards heads it, but it goes straight to Dawson, halfway inside his own.
I do take the point, obviously, one up top, you can't go chasing on your own, so does he change his shape, or will he stay the same and back his team to win over 90 minutes? I think he'd probably do that. First game of the season, why would you panic?
Here is Cash finding Dawson. Dawson square for Worrell. Worrell tucks it back for Dawson again, as he was closed down by Zabor. And now Thiago Silva has dropped deep, just inside his own half to get hold of the ball. Turns away from Krovinovic. Good run. And now Worrell takes over. Left-hand side, gives it to Robinson. Robinson loses out to Ferguson. The interception, who then wins the throw off Robinson. And it is going to be the 18-year-old who's going to take the throw. She's down the right-hand side. Ferguson throws down the line. Now here's Silva.
Who got caught. Yeah.
Yeah, long ball forward and a left leg by Silva.
He left the leg there.
And Ajay gets slowly up to his feet. The game needs a bit of an injection of something. We've just seen Rafa Mir called back from warming up, and he had almost a sprint back to the dugout. He's now sat down in the dugout, and that might be just to put his shin pads on and his shirt on or something. I think that first substitution is close for Forest as we approach the hour mark at the City Ground. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, the game has just gone through a bit of a lull, which will certainly suit West Bromwich Albion at the moment, because they lead 2-1. They have the ball on halfway, nodded forward And Kieran Gibbs is getting well forward from fullback, and he's got Edwards outside him. Edwards, tight angle into the penalty area and hits the shot, which is well saved by the goalkeeper. Edwards just running out of room eventually because the pace of the move was so swift, but he still managed to hit the target, and Muric made a decent save to knock it behind for a corner.
Yeah, I'm pleased with the keeper there, and it was a nice height for him in there. I think the young winger were thinking should have been low and hard like the last one was, but good save from the keeper at an important time, an hour gone.
Corner for West Brom. Forest get everybody back defensively inside their own penalty area, just about. If Joe Lolly takes one pace backwards, he'll be inside the box as well. As it is, he's in the D. And here comes the corner from the far side. It's over the head of Muric, who came to claim it, and it just gets touched away at the back stick, with Phillips and Zahor lurking. And it's away for another corner. And here comes Rafa Mir, another tall player, striker on loan from Wolves, Spanish former under-21 international, 6'3", 22 years of age, on loan from Wolves, and he's going to replace Thiago Silva.
He's going two up top.
Certainly looks that way.
We'll see where he plays, but I think, like I said, the injection of pace and enthusiasm, and a striker who's got an eye for goal, that's what we need at the moment.
And we're also going to see very soon Oliver Burke coming on for West Bromwich Albion. £13 million exit when he left Forest for Germany. Albion then paid £15 million for it. Phillips takes the corner and rolls it back towards the penalty spot, where it's met first time and blocked well by Watson.
Yeah, Watson was switched on there. Set piece worked. Teddy Sheringham won when he was at Tottenham. I think he was the first guy to do that. Gets round the back and then comes around and hits the ball on the swivel. But Watson concentrated really well there. Stayed with his man, blocked the shot.
It was Edwards again who had the shot, first timer from the corner. And here's Phillips with another corner from the right hand side. This one is towards the edge of the 6-yard box, not quite dealt with yet by Forest. Comes out for Kravinovic to drive from the edge of the box, and it's over the crossbar and away for a goal kick. And here comes Ollie Burke. Interesting to see what sort of reception he's going to get. He's going to replace Kenneth Zahor. Well, as you mentioned, no real striker on the bench for West Brom. No. So Burke is going to go and play in that role.
Yeah, played there for Scotland, didn't he, a while back, and scored the winning goal. I mean, not a striker really by trade, but he'll run into channels all day long, and we'll try and give his old mate Joe Worrell some trouble today.
Decent reception for Oliver Burke as he comes on then for West Brom, with almost 63 minutes on the clock, and his side leading 1-0. Rafa Mir wins the challenge for Forest, and that presents the ball to Adoma. Adoma down the left-hand side. Mir has it once more, 25 yards out, and loses out to Matt Phillips, who then is closed down again by Mir.
Yeah, and it gives Oliver Burke an absolute rollicking. And he was right, to be fair. As soon as he won the ball, he did a run into the corner flag, and Oliver was just sat looking at him with the ball.
Robinson to take the throw, midway inside the Albion half, left-hand side of the field, hurls it in towards Graben in between the two giants. It's a good throw, but fairly easy in the end for Kyle Bartley to head away. Dawson heads up in the air, underneath it is Burke trying to control it. Cash steps in and sends it back to Muric.
Yeah, it's definitely Forest two up top now, Graben and Rafa Mir. They get alongside the two strapping centre-halves of West Brom. So the shape now is a 4-4-2, I suppose.
4-4-2, isn't it? Yeah. With Adoma wide on the left and Lolly on the right. Semedo and Watson, the two central midfielders.
Yeah.
And the ball goes back to Muric.
I think it was crying out for something like that to happen, because it was just too comfortable for the back four and for the midfield players to get the ball and just pop it around. No tempo.
Robinson down the left-hand side for Adoma. He's only 10 yards from the corner flag. He's taking on Ferguson. Ferguson sticks in his task, as he has done throughout the match, and just blocks the cross. But Forest will have a corner, which Adoma looks as if he wants to get on with and take quickly, but surely he'll hang on for Dawson and Worrell, who are walking purposefully forward towards the penalty area.
Just thinking, whoever Kenneth Zahor was supposed to be marking should be free now.
Taken short, And now Adoma gets it back and clips over the cross, and that's headed away by Carl Bartley. Robinson goes chasing after it, gives it to Cash inside the centre circle. Cash sends a ball out wide to the right-hand side for Dawson, who's still forward and controls on his chest and gives it now to Watson. Watson across to the edge of the centre circle for Robinson. Robinson left-hand side for Lolly, midway inside the Albion half. Left side of the field, sent forward to Adoma, touched away from him by Gibbs, who's across on the right-hand side at the moment. Albion, a player still in odd positions after the defence of that last corner. And now here's Worrell back on halfway, but under pressure by Burke. Gives it to Robinson. Robinson down the line looking for Adoma, who's trying to get away from Gibbs. Good battle between the two, and in the end Forest win the throw, at least. Important challenge from Gibbs. Just wonder if those two have switched actually. Gibbs and Ferguson.
I think it was like you thought it was the corner.
Do you think it still is a positional thing?
I think so, yeah.
And now they're all retreating into the penalty area again.
Long throw, yeah. There we
long
go.
throw from Robinson. And it comes towards the penalty spot, aimed at Mir, but headed away comfortably by Ajay. Comes down for Lolly, nicked away from Lolly by Kravinovic, who thought he was fouled by Lolly. Out to halfway it goes, picked up by Dawson. 21 second half minutes play. Pinged out by Watson to the right-hand side for Cash, who's well forward, gives it back to Watson. And Watson has to go across halfway this time for Dawson. Dawson pings a long diagonal out towards the left-hand side. Great ball for Adoma, who controls and then crosses with his second touch. And it's headed away at the back post with Rafa Mir lurking by Bartley. And Forest get a corner. What a ball that was from Dawson.
Yeah, I mean, everything about it was perfect. The diagonal ball was 670 yards to Adoma. His first touch was perfect into his stride. Good cross to the back post. And out for a corner. But yeah, just beautiful play from both players.
Corner which Lolly is going to take from the right-hand side. Left-footed, in-swinging corner, 6-yard box, and up goes Semedo, but it's headed away from him. In fact, it's headed up in the air, and then Burke side-foot volleys it away. Watson goes and chases after it and wins it back for Forest, turns it back to halfway for Robinson. Robinson swings along diagonal out to the right-hand side, nodded away from Cash, but again it's won by Forest and sent all the way back this time to Muric. He tries to send it out left-hand side for Adoma. Headed away from him, but now comes out for Watson. The two fullbacks have reverted back into their usual positions for West Brom, and now here's Rafa Mir. He's in the middle of the West Brom half. Quick feet. Turns it left-hand side for Adoma. Adoma tries to give it back to him. That's asking a lot. Yeah, just tried to nudge it back with the outside of his right foot. Adoma into the path of Mir, and it always looked as if it was 2 yards too heavy. And it was. Adoma apologises. Kieran Gibbs has gone and sat down and needs some treatment.
It's a good run there from Mir. I mean, he got the ball, played it out wide and got in behind the midfield four and the back four. Really, it's a good run. Just a poor pass from Adoma. But it's, like you said, he's full of energy. You can see he's pleased to be on the pitch. Probably had a frustrating time at Wolves. And tonight, he wants to be the hero and get his team back in the game. He's full of energy. And now he's talking to Kieran Gibbs saying, get up.
Yeah, come on your feet. Was on loan at Las Palmas last season in Spain, where he's from. Won 10 under-21 caps for Spain. But, clearly there's plenty of competition as a young Spanish player to get into that side. But, Gibbs is okay. He's just stood up again. He's all right. He's being told, of course, that he has to leave the field, having had treatment. Forest are going to bring Sammy Amiobi on pretty soon. Free signing, actually signed, first signing of the summer, signed by Martin O'Neill before the managerial change. 6'4", and he is poised to come on for Forest. Looks as if Kieran Gibbs might be finished for West Brom because
Townsend,
player on Townsend, yeah. As Sam Johnston eventually gets us back underway again with a clearance from left to right. Kravinovic in midfield, nods it forward to Burke. Burke lays it off for Livermore inside that centre circle. Now Romain Sawyers tucks it back again for Bartley. Gibbs has trudged all the way around the field. So it certainly is afternoon, his evening is over. And now here's Jack Robinson. Robinson across the halfway line for Forest. Gets to halfway inside the Albion half. Now gives it to Adoma, who's wide on the left. He's trying to get away from Ferguson, and he just about looked as if he had got away from Ferguson, and then maybe just lost his footing. He thought he was fouled. He was claiming a foul by Ferguson, but sure there was too much in that. Just looked a physical battle, which Adoma in the end just lost his balance. And now Sawyers for West Brom, still just inside his own half, sends it out left-hand side for Edwards, who at the moment is deputising at left-back while they wait to get Connor Townsend on. They're down to 10
away now, though.
But now he's leapt away down the left-hand side and is on the end of Kravinovic's pass. Towards the corner of the penalty area goes Edwards, and good tackle this time from Cash, but the ball breaks for Sawyers to hit first time, and that's blocked on the edge of the box by Dawson. And then Lolly wins the throw for his side. They're playing it off Sawyers, and they'll have a throw a few yards from their own corner flag. So Townsend comes on to replace the injured Gibbs, and for Forest, Amiobi is going to replace Joe Lolly. So Lolly's afternoon is over, and using the new rules, he walks off on the far side of the field, and Amiobi comes on this near side of the field. So Lolly's now got to trudge around in front of the West Brom fans.
Yeah, I think he'll be absolutely fuming about that personally.
Yeah, it's an odd one.
Amiobi deserves a chance.
One, I guess.
It was unexpected, yeah, absolutely. But you know, Amiobi can score a goal. He's got a big left foot. He's keen to impress. So we'll wait and see if he can prove his manager right.
So Amiobi is on. He's gone onto the left-hand side. Adoma switching to the right. And this second half is just ticking away, really. It's sort of ebbed away. Nothing really has happened in it. We're already at 72 minutes. And West Brom still lead by 2-1 on the home of live Nottinghamshire sport. Don't forget, if you're tuning in for Dean Jackson and the Beat, we'll be joining his programme from 8 o'clock when the football is all done. And if you're wanting some cricket, that is online for you. It's not to take on Lancashire, that's just starting around about now at Old Trafford in the T20. That's online on the BBC Sport website and app. Here's Kyle Edwards again for West Brom, finding the new substitute Townsend. Well forward, level with the edge of the Forest penalty area, a bit further forward than that now as Edwards has it. Applauses because Lolly is just completing his trudge around the pitch back towards the newly extended dugout. Home dugout. And here's Edwards again, running across the edge of the Forest penalty area. And now Sawyers turns it back to the left-hand side for Townsend. Townsend with the cross, that's a bit aimless. Nobody at the back post, and so Robinson can go and retrieve it. He's put under pressure now by Burt, but manages to find Semedo. Semedo trying to get away from Livermore. It's a good turn, and he finds Amiobi, who heels it back to Alpha Semedo. And Semedo then touching it away from Sawyers, and he's charging forward, and he's got Adoma away to his right. Good ball as well to Adoma, corner of the penalty area. Adoma now with the cross. Grabban gets up back post. Amiobi trying to get up back post, and in the end it's smuggled away by Ferguson for a corner. And that's a great move from Forest. That's one of the best moves of the day.
Oh, great move from the left back Robinson. The back heel from Amiobi. Powering run there from Semedo. Ball out to Adoma, cross it to the back stick, and just Amiobi done the back heel in the first place on the halfway line. Was at the back post, just couldn't get in front of Ferguson. The other fullback got his body in the way. I think he chested the ball eventually behind the Trent End goal line. So it's a corner down below us again. And this time it's Matty Cash, I think. Yep.
Cash to take the corner from the left-hand side. Forest trail 2-1 with 16 minutes to go. Cash's corner is headed away by Ajayi in a crowded 6-yard box. And Forest will have another one in front of the Trent End, away to our left. Cash again to take. Right-footed, in-swinging corner from Cash. This is deeper towards the back post. It doesn't quite reach the target, who was Sammy Amiobi, who's now trying to win it again on the edge of the penalty area, but it's cleared by Albion through Edwards to Kravinovic, who plays it off Watson. It'll be a West Brom throw on halfway. Good flurry from Forest, but that's all it's been really in this second half. To be fair, it's not been a game that's been full of chances for either side. Mia controls and is fouled by Kyle Bartley. It'll be a free kick for Forest just a few yards inside the Albion half. Right hand side. Watson leaves it for Dawson to take. As Forest, their men towards the edge of the box. Semedo, Mia, grab him. Dawson takes it short to Cash. He gives it back to him. Gives it back to Cash. Cash now dinks one forward towards Grabham, but it's over his head and it's easy for Bartley to head clear. Edwards, he thumps it forward first time. Dawson runs backwards, controls a ball that was dropping over his shoulder.
Very nicely it was as well. Wasn't easy that. Controlled it lovely.
Here's Semedo. He's turned away from one challenge and then gets away from another, who both tried to bring him down, but Semedo still goes on towards the edge of the box and hits the shot over the bar, over the angle of crossbar and post. Thrilling run again from Alpha Semedo. That's a couple in the last couple of minutes from him. Quick feet, maybe against some tiring players. But he looks full of energy.
Yeah, he does. I mean, just barged out the way there. Matt Bennett was a big lad, and then barged Livermore, who dived in. They couldn't keep him at all. And maybe right there, Colin. Maybe that's just the toiling in that midfield area. I mean, a lot of the ball tonight at West Brom. And Livermore looked really tired there. First game of the season.
There's Ferguson inside his own half. Sawyers clears.
Better press though.
One by Robinson, and now here's Watson. Watson tries to thread one through for Mia, and it almost came through for Rafa Mia, but not quite. And in the end, he has to bundle into the back of Nathan Ferguson. And it'll be a free kick for Albion, just a couple of yards outside their penalty area. Sam Johnston is going to come out and take it.
There is a definite more of a intended press now. And when we won the ball there, Jack Robinson, there was more red shirts to pick up the ball that he put forward. And then more of a panic on from West Brom. I mean, it's not a total panic, but at least something's happening a little bit around their box as we approach 12 minutes to go.
Gets Worrell, wins the header. Ball breaks for Semedo. In midfield again, this time inside his own half. Appeals for handball as Semedo is just crowded out. And then he's still trying to win it back off Kravinovic, who wriggles away from his challenge and then gets away from Watson as well. And Albion have the ball. This is Burke, 10 yards inside the Forest half. Now it's back to halfway with Kyle Bartley. I mentioned the cricket getting underway online on the BBC Sport website and app for you as well. Now Lancashire batting first. They're 2 for 2 at the end of the first over, so quite some start for Notts. Here's Ferguson running forward and gives it to Kyle Edwards just inside the penalty area. Now laid back to Kravinovic, who's just outside the box, left-hand side of the field. Loads of space on the right-hand side for Phillips, and Sawyers has seen it. Matt Phillips, level with the edge of the Forest box. Wide right, could score from there, as he did in the first half, with a fluke. And this time he's crossed and it's been blocked by Robinson, but it'll be a corner for West Brom. 12 minutes to go.
And all 11 back to Forest, all in the penalty area, every one of them. So they're going to pile in, West Brom with no danger behind them, and they're all piling in.
Yeah, Bartley and Ajay, the two giants from the back, getting up to join Romain Sawyers in that penalty area as well. Here comes the cross from Phillips, doesn't beat the first man. Semedo heads it away at the near post. Townsend picks it up, gives it to Kravinovic. He's going to go all the way back to Sam Johnston. Johnston clears from left to right. Well won by Robinson. Getting into the ball ahead. Phillips, and now Rafa Mia gets away and lays it into Grabham inside left channel, just inside the box, tries to get it back to Mia. It was almost under his feet. And in the end, as the challenge comes in from Bartley, Forest get themselves a corner. I have to say that looked like it came off Mia to me, and ought to have been a goal kick. And I think that's the point that Slaven Bilic is rather vociferously making to the fourth official. And in the end, Forest get a corner. Almost opened up for them. West Brom do look as if they're tiring a bit, particularly in midfield. 11 minutes to go. 2-1 Albion lead. Corner taken by Cash, headed away by Ajay from the edge of his 6-yard box, and then nodded further forward by Edwards, but That'll be collected by Robinson as it was Albion's turn to get everybody back defending. Now Adoma, 30 yards out, left-hand side, crosses towards Amiobi beyond the back post, but it's headed away by Townsend before it reaches Amiobi, who I don't think's had a touch yet since he came on. And Forest win a throw. Watson wants to get on with it quickly, and now Amiobi's had a touch because Watson's played it into him. Amiobi's pass forward towards Cash is overhit.
Look at Bilic again going absolutely mad.
Yeah, he's unhappy at the moment, the Croatian. And Matt Phillips' evening is over. He's going to be replaced by Raheem Harper. The third change for West Brom is made with 10 minutes to go. Phillips might have scored what turns out to be the winning goal. If it is, it will go down as a fluke. But he won't mind. He's going to take them. And now as he leaves the field, or he actually hasn't left the field yet, he's just being told to hang on, I think, because cramp. An Albion player has gone down. Two Albion players have gone down. One's certainly got cramp on the far side. That's Edwards, I think.
I think so has Livermore.
I think Livermore's got cramp as well.
Oh yeah.
So two down with cramp. They're about to make their third substitution, which was going to be neither of those players. And having received treatment, they're both going to have to leave the field. Cross on the far side, Edwards has already been led off the field and he's going to have his treatment off the pitch. And Jake Livermore is now being told he's got to leave the field. He's claiming, no, I didn't get treatment, but the physio had come on to deliver the treatment, whether he actually got it or not. So he's going to leave the field. He's limping very heavily, is Livermore. And this might be leading to a quick rethink for Slaven Bilic. He's talking to Livermore now about whether or not his captain is going to be able to continue. Further signs, as we've been mentioning, that West Brom do look a bit tired. The question is, have Forest got enough in their legs to take advantage of it in the last 8 minutes, plus stoppage time? Edwards still getting treatment. Livermore still off the field. Ball is played straight out into touch by Johnston. Now Livermore gets back on.
And look at
and Albion are
so
furious
stiff.
because they wanted to make their change with Edwards off the field. It may be that Edwards is going to be the man they replace in the end rather than Phillips, which was the original decision. At the moment they're still down to 10. And Forest have the ball on halfway as Worrell turns it left-hand side for Robinson. Robinson now for Amiobi, who's left-hand side of the field at the moment. Gets it back again to Amiobi, running through the middle of the Albion half, gives it to Watson, back to Amiobi, and he turns it back to Worrell. Edwards for Albion is back on his feet on the far side, still not back in play though, as Dawson spreads another lovely ball right-hand side. Cash crosses, blocked by Townsend. Edwards is now going to be able to...
Edwards is finished.
Yeah, see, they've changed. That was going to be Matt Phillips who was the man to come off the field. That was when the board was originally held up. And now it is Kyle Edwards who is leaving the field on the far side of the field. And, Raheem Harper replaces him. So they're back to their full complement. Well, they wanted to get Matt Phillips off, so clearly he's tiring.
And Livermore.
Livermore's got cramp. So can Forest take advantage? Semedo closes down on the far side of the field, but ball bounces away from him and out for a goal kick.
When you see that, like someone like Ben Watson out there, he's got the G in the troops saying, look, you know, look at them, they're on their last legs. And it's got to give you some real impetus and some belief that they are flagging. And it's clearly evident they're flagging because they all want to come off at the moment. So, you know, up the tempo, get the ball forward, keep believing, because there's at least another, 7 minutes to go yet in this game.
Yep. Well, 6 minutes of normal time. But, it's going to be a good 2 or 3 or 4 minutes. Now, Semedo's gone down for Forest. He's got cramp as well. Down on the left-hand side, meanwhile, Kravinovic has the ball for West Brom, deep into Forest half. He's rolled it back into the middle of the Forest half. As Rafa Mir then intercepts and leaps away across halfway. Mia towards the edge of the penalty area, hits the shot, that's deflected and loops up for a corner.
Yeah, sorry there, Romain Sawyer's absolutely shattered, couldn't get back, tried to bring him down, Rafa Mir, but he's full of life and positivity at the moment. He really is driving the team forward, and the shot there has drawn the corner.
To Alpha Semedo, he's just limped towards the bench with cramp. The bench has sent him away and he sprinted into the 6-yard box, ready to take up the corner.
If he's 6'3", he's a corner.
Get in there, use your head. Brennan Johnson is being made ready for Forest. Another attacking player, the youngster. Meanwhile, here's Cash's corner, and it is Semedo who gets on the end of it, and that'll be him done. He's really limping and he's gone down now with the cramp. He's down on the floor, and the ball is sent back towards Michael Dawson. It's the shot from the edge of the box, and that's blocked and deflected. Comes out for Watson, and Watson gives it to Robinson. Robinson over the top looking for Grabban, and it's headed away from him. Comes out for Worrell, and he shoots from 25, 30 yards, and it's well wide of the target in the end.
West Brom were praying for, when they saw Worrell there, we're thinking, please shoot. Too far out, 30 yards on the volley like that. To keep the pressure on them, keep it moving around on the last legs.
This last few minutes is survival of the fittest, really.
It is, you're right.
Livermore has just stretched out his calves again. He's really struggling, is Livermore. We just saw Romain Sawyer's struggling to try and bring down Rafa Mir and couldn't even manage that. I think Forest are going to... No, the referee's saying you weren't ready to make the substitution, so you're not doing it yet. But Brennan Johnson, the 18-year-old, son of David, is going to come on and make his Forest debut very soon. But here's Oliver Burke down the right-hand side for Albion. Cross gets Semedo, and limping gets the challenge in, but it will be a corner for West Brom. Now, is this going to see the change? No, Lamouchi's just hauling Brennan Johnson back by the shoulders to say, not when we're defending a corner.
Yeah, so this time there's only 10 back, Grabban up the pitch on his own, at least he's keeping 2 back there with him.
2-1 to West Brom. 3 minutes plus stoppage time to go. There will be, I think, a significant amount of stoppage time now. So this match has got a bit disjointed towards the end. Phillips takes the corner from the right-hand side for Albion. The referee's seen a push or a bit of climbing inside the penalty area, and it will be a free kick for Forest, and that means they can make their change. And here is the debut for Brennan Johnson, but also very good applause for Alpha Semedo, who's had a good debut for Forest. It might be on the losing side.
Not yet.
But not necessarily, not just yet. But he's played well, Alpha Semedo.
Yep, full of energy, positive, powerful lad. He's done pretty well today.
And Brennan Johnson on the field for Forest, wearing the number 40. Just been named man of the match, actually, as Brennan Johnson. Meanwhile, Adoma and then Cash both go down in challenges. Referee Darren England waving play on. Forest have the ball back just inside their own half. Can they mount the finish to get a point here? Forest. Here's Johnson, clips the ball forward down the left-hand side, and across goes Ajay to knock the ball away from Amiobi. Throw for Forest, 10 yards from the corner flag, left-hand side. Robinson to take, minute and a half of normal time to go. Albion leading 2-1. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham. Are we in for the thrilling finish at the City Ground? Big crowd here wants to see that happen as Robinson hurls it into the penalty area, and it's nodded away. Johnson gets to the ball first, clips it over the top inside right channel for Worrell, who's still well forward. Tucks it outside the penalty area, gives it Watson. Watson's cross, header from Amiobi, goes across the face of goal. It's a bit of a glancer from Amiobi, across the face and wide, and it'll be a goal kick for West Brom as we tick into the 90th minute at the City Ground.
Yeah, decent cross from Watson on the right-hand side. About 8 yards at Amiobi. 6'3", got there first, and like you said, I needed to power it rather than try and glance it, and got too much of a glance, and it just bobbled lamely towards the corner flag area.
It's like a little switch here from Forest with Amiobi going more central, and Mia now playing down the left-hand side. One by Johnson, who's gone on into midfield alongside Watson, wins it, gives it to Dawson. Dawson pings one forward for Grabban to go chasing after. Grabban has rather bundled into the back of Townsend, but I don't think a free kick's been given. Townsend went down, but it is just a throw. And we are just about at 90 minutes. And the fourth official is Oliver Langford. This is board out. 5 minutes. Forest have got 5 minutes to try and find an equaliser. All the goals came in the first 26 minutes of the game. Matty Cash put Forest in front on 8 minutes, then Kyle Edwards and Matt Phillips and Albion in front. That's the way it stayed, but Forest have got 5 stoppage time minutes to do something about it. Good ball from Johnson to Cash down the right side. Cash cutting in field. Hits a left foot shot, ambitious, high, wide goal kick. There's going to be one more chance here, isn't there? Against a tiring defensive unit. In midfield, they're gasping for breath, West Brom. Livermore with cramp, Sawyer's struggling. All 3 substitutions made. Phillips having to stay on the pitch when they wanted to take him off. So, can Forest find a way through? Throw inside their own half, taken by Robinson. Now Dawson, diagonal ball towards the right hand side. Can Adoma get there? Not quite. But it's cleared by Townsend for a throw.
What a pass again there for Dawson.
His diagonal balls have been superb tonight, haven't they?
Yeah.
Throw to be taken by Cash. He's got a long throw as well.
Yeah, Dawson may as well go, nobody behind him.
No, Robinson waves him forward. He's the last man, Robinson. Here comes the long throw from Cash from the right-hand side. Dawson trying to bring it down, unable to do so, and cleared by Kravinovic. Back goes Johnson to give it to Robinson. Robinson away from Burke, and then clips a poor ball forward, which is straight onto the head of Sawyers, but it bounces across to the right-hand side for Cash. Cash with a high ball this time towards the back post. Grabban gets his head to it. Johnson has to make a save. Again, he couldn't get much power on it, Lewis Grabban, but he did steer it towards goal, and Johnston with a smart but comfortable save away to his right. And that's 2 of the stoppage time minutes gone. 3 to come on the home of live Nottinghamshire sport. Leeds away next Saturday is a 12:30 kick-off. Match day is with you from 12 noon on BBC Radio Nottingham.
I don't see why Jack Robinson headed that ball there whatsoever. No one near the ball's going out of play. He must have thought someone was behind him to head the ball like that for no reason.
Because as it is, he's headed it out of play and it's an Albion throw. 2.5 minutes of stoppage time gone. 2-1 to West Brom here at the City Ground. It's Sabri Lamouchi's first game in charge of Forest to end in home defeat by Albion. It's out for another throw, this time to Forest, but it's still inside their own half, and it's a bit deeper inside their own half than Robinson wanted. Back it goes, back he goes, and then runs forward the same amount of yards as he's just been sent back. Hurls it in, headed away by Albion, back to Robinson on the halfway line. He dinks one forward again. It's cleared only as far as Mir. Mir into Grabban's feet, top of the D. Now Amiobi tries to find Johnson, nicked away from him. Mir putting his defender under pressure, but it comes off the Spaniard. Now for a West Brom goal kick. Sam Johnson has kicked the ball back into the Trent end, having received it back once. And Albion are closing in on an opening day 3 points away from home. Slaven Bilic's first game in charge of the Hawthorns club. Cleared left to right by Johnston. Up gets Worrell, wins the header away from Burke, but it comes down for Phillips. Phillips down the right-hand side, trying to give it back to Burke. Burke just about manages to keep it in play against Worrell.
He's done brilliant there, by the way.
Near the corner flag. Eventually, there are too many on him, and Worrell and Robinson between them win it, and it's sent forward by Amiobi, but straight onto the head of Ajayi. He can't keep his header in play, and so it's another Forest throw. Robinson to take. The Forest fans are urging him to get on with it quickly, so he throws it down the line for Grabban's run, and Grabban can't control it, because in the end it was a bit too rushed. And that is probably going to do it, and that is probably going to mean that it's going to end in defeat here for the home side on opening day. which is not something that happens very often. Forest have a good opening day record, but it's the Baggies fans that are making the noise away to our right-hand side just at the moment, as we play the final few seconds here at the City Ground. Headed on by Harper. Burke trying to close down Forest on the edge of their penalty area. Dawson clears, but that'll do it. Full-time whistle goes, and Forest are beaten at home on opening day for the